Okay, guys, in the previous video, we used Figma to think around about what we need to build for this photo web application. We did build a sketch of a design. It's not really a full design and a prototype. It's just basic, few basic screens to figure out what we want. So next, what I want to do is actually to install Laravel and start working with it. Since I said I want to use inertia, and so it means that I want to build a single page application with Vue.js and Laravel. Let's get started with it. So let me move into my project folder. Probably it's a capital P. And let's go, let me see what I have here. Laravel. Okay. Laravel new. How do we call this? I don't know. Sere photo. Okay. Couldn't came up with a better project name, but wherever. So let's install Laravel. Then it could be useful to have these tracked down by Jira for planning and figure out what tasks we want to do and make a plan. Even if I'm working on my own, it doesn't matter. It's still useful to follow the Agile and Scrum products. So let me go into here, so cd into the folder, and then let's list the files and start PHP artisan serve. But before that, let's open the project with VS Code. Okay, so here we go. We are opening up VS Code, and let me launch the... Why are you taking so long? Let me... Oh, shit. I didn't move to the other screen, so you're not seeing. So move back to coding. Yeah, okay. What I did in the previous minute was simply to install Laravel using the command line and Laravel new installer. So Laravel new Sere photos, then the installation of Laravel went through, and then I run wire, and then I run code point, and then the VS Code IDE open up. Okay, so this is the project. Let's start quickly artisan serve. So we see this splash page, PHP artisan serve, PHP, what's up? Okay, so just to remember that I'm doing a live coding. I have no idea what I'm going to build. I mean, we have a general understanding of the project since we built this sketch in Figma, but we will learn as we go what we need to build. So let me close Figma because I won't use it for now. Let me move it to a different screen so I can keep it here and to help me figure out what I need to build. But this is going to be pretty straightforward. So let's open up the page, the Laravel welcome page, and here we have. Okay, so this is the Laravel welcome page that we need to change. I'm using I'm not sure if I want to use a Laravel Breeze. I've never used it. As I said in the previous video, I've never used Laravel 8. So probably I will pause the video sometime and during the live coding, read the documentation and then start coding. That would be the actual workflow that I will follow. The first thing that I would surely need is to have a not this page, but an authentication page, so we can pull in Laravel Breeze or the Laravel UI. I'm more familiar with Laravel UI, but at the same time, I don't think that I will change the registration at all, so it doesn't really matter what I use. So let's try. Hmm? Why not? Let's try to use Laravel Breeze and see what happens. Maybe I figure out that I have no idea what I'm doing, and so we will need. So that's the documentation. We will need to study a little bit. So that's the documentation for Laravel. Hey, oh God, new version of Laravel. Hey, Laravel came out actually tonight, I think, because yesterday there wasn't any update. So I'm wondering what version of Laravel I've just installed, because the Laravel installer should give me the latest one. That's the Laravel 8.75. Okay, so still on a 8 point. Okay. I definitely want to see what changed before between these two, the 8 and 9. Tyler, what did you do? A new version. Oh my god, it's running so fast. Okay, so I don't know. That's the 9. So let's move to the 8. Since we need to pick up some from some point from somewhere. So let's see that in the getting started we have starter kits. Hang on. I need to change music, making too much noise. Let me change the song. Fits, comma. Okay. Okay, so I can think a bit better. I'm listening, by the way, I'm listening Fitz Kalkenberner. I don't know if this is the right pronunciation, but it's kind of house music that helped me concentrate during the coding. So we have the starter kit, so we can install Laravel Breeze. Laravel Breeze minimal, simple implementation of all the Laravel authentication features. Okay, Breeze it's styled with Tailwind CSS. Okay, that's fine. So wonderful starting point for beginning a fresh Laravel application. Okay, great choice for the project. Okay, and bring to the project to the next level with Laravel Livewire. I need to figure out that as well. Okay, but the installation steps should be pretty much simple. We should create a new Laravel application, and we already did that. And then it says to migrate. Okay, we will do that in a minute. But I don't have a database yet. So I don't want to. What kind of database are we going to use? Well, for testing, since I want to write tests first, for testing, I will probably use a SQLite database, and then in production, I will use MySQL. But we could even have two different databases for MySQL databases, one for the test and the other one for the for the for the production. So let me start, as I said, writing some tests. The first thing we should do, let's open up a new terminal window. First, well, we have not yet any database, so let me create a database. And I mean, actually not. Since we want to test our application, we can wait for a minute to do that, but we need to install Cyprus if we want to write end-to-end tests. So let me open up the guides. So let me open up the Cyprus website and figure out the steps that I need to do. Okay, let's go to the getting started, and then we should install Cyprus with npm. All right, my dependencies should be already up to date, and we could just do that. npm install Cyprus. And I'm using, by the way, I'm using VSL too. So Windows Subsystem Linux for in my development environment. So working with Cypress and VSL is a little tricky. You need to have some extension installed, an application called Xserver to be able to open up a GUI application that runs on the Linux virtual machine inside your Windows operating system, but I won't go deep into that. I'm working on a different series where we only talk about testing and explain how to set up all that if you are using VSL in that videos. And there will be probably a link to this video when I finished working on it in this one as well. So let's go back to VS Code and let's install Cypress into my project. In my computer, this application that I'm talking about is already installed. Its name is, let me see, its name is Xlaunch. So it's already up and running, so I should be able to open up once we finish the installation of Cypress. I should be able to open up the GUI and run some tests. So I will pause the video and come back as soon as it finished the installation. See you next. Hit pause. Okay, the Cypress installation have been completed, and now if we look on the sidebar, there is nothing. So it seems like nothing happened. Let's check the documentation and see what we need to do. So we have already a project on this side. So we should probably start Cypress. Here we have the steps for yarn, and then it says to run npx Cypress open. Okay, let's run this and see what happens. Okay, npx Cypress open, and it seems stuck. Oh no, it's running. Okay, something is happening. Cool. So the Cypress GUI is booting up, and why did it take so long? So the first time probably takes long because it needs to initialize this folder. Inside this folder, we have all the Cypress stuff, where we have commands, and then we have the integration folder where we actually will write our tests. We have two folders for with some examples in it, but we actually don't need them. I will just show you what happens when we run it, and then I'll delete the folder. So what Cypress does is to simulate a real user testing your application, so interacting with your application. So if we click on this to-do spec.js here, there are some tests written following the Cypress syntax with Cypress commands and the module library and other assertion libraries. So if we click on this one, a new window will open, and let's wait. Okay, so it's loading all the tests that is should run for this application, and as you see, what's going on? Okay, it's visiting the page, this to-do application, is typing something in it. So as you see on the left, it's running tests and is checking them as soon as they complete successfully. So you see it's filling up the form to add a new task, checking the task, and it does all these steps, and it interacts with this application as a standard user would do. So let's close this up, and then let's visit this file. So you see here, we have the describe block where we can provide context for the test. Then in the hit block, we will actually write our test within the closure. So then with ci.get, we will get a selector, and then we will make our sections. So let's close this. We don't need that. There are also the advanced examples. We will figure out as we work on the project what to do. So let's delete this and remove. Okay. So let me first, before I move any forward, let me initialize a Bitbucket repo. So a new Git repo. So git init git add a dot, and then git commit -m, and with the initial commit with Cyprus. Okay. Now I want to connect that with a Bitbucket repo. So let me open up my Bitbucket account behind the scenes. And we can move this one on another screen for now. I don't need to look at it at the moment. So let me create a new repo, show you what I do so you don't get bored. So new repo, we will call it, what's the name of the project? Serie photos. Okay, that's the name I will give to the repo. Serie photos. Then I'll keep it private for now. Then I will open it. Maybe now. Let's leave it public. So I don't want to get in no file, and select the language, say PHP, and then the project. I don't have a project. Maybe that. Where should I put this? Do I have Laravel? No. Let's have one for Laravel. So Laravel project, and in here I will put some Laravel projects, and this one is gonna be the first. So create a repo, wait for a second that it loads, and then we can push our local repo to the remote. Why are you taking so long today? Probably because I'm live streaming, but okay. So let's copy these two commands and then push to the repo. Okay. Yes, I will change that in a minute. So here, and we have this up and running on Bitbucket. Later, I can connect this one with my Jira account and line up all the tasks I want to do and create a sprint. Okay, why not do that now, Fabio? Okay, before I write any test, before I do anything, I could make a quick plan. Well, I don't want that this project takes too long. Let me just quickly figure out what I want to do. Let me go in the routes folder. So, depending on what I want to do, if this is a new project and I'm going to install Breeze or Jetstream to on a fresh Laravel application, it's going to be fine. But if I start writing some code, then probably will be deleted. You never know. So it's a fresh project. Let's keep it fresh. And first, let's figure out what we want to put it. So surely I will have a post model. And then migration for posts. So a posts table. And then this post table should have, what columns should we do? ID, of course. Then we have the photo. It's a single photo, so she can upload a single photo. Well, maybe she wants to upload multiple photos. I don't know. So we have the photos table. Photos. Okay, so we did photo. Photo could be fine like that. Then what? Status, if it's public or not. Then before the status, we could put a description and the title. Okay. So that's gonna be our primary key, our big increment, big integer, and auto increment. So then we have the photo that's gonna be a string. The title is gonna be a string as well. This one is gonna be text, and this one is gonna be boolean. So I'm not going to write or draw a diagram for this because we will keep the whole application really simple. Then of course we have the usual model for the user, and that's the one that Laravel gives to us. Model user, and then we have the migration. Whatever Laravel puts in here. And next, well, we have tags. So for the model, it's not going to be post, but it's going to be photo. Photo. Then we have tags. So the model is going to be tag, and the migration is going to be tags table. But we have probably a relationship between these two. So we will build a new migration for the photo tag table, which is going to be a pivot table. Okay, and in here we will have the photo ID and ID public and the tag ID. Okay, that's pretty much it. I mean, if we were to use Laravel 7, probably building this whole application would take no longer than a couple of hours. But I want to make things as much realistic as possible. So I will use something I never used before, so Laravel 8, and probably a couple more packages that I never used. I mean, at least not much. And I'll show you what really means live coding. So, okay, so this is the plan. I mean, really simple plan. We need these models and this stuff, but as I said, I want to write tests first, and of course we need to authenticate the user. So Basically, the first thing that I want to test is the authentication. Then we have also a bunch of routes. And then we have, of course, the as a routes, we will have the posts route for the guest, and then we will have a sort of admin.posts route, and then we have also posts.show route, and then here we will have all the 7 routes for the admin user, and then so that's gonna be a resource route. But also the admin.dashboard. And then I'm not gonna show a single tag on the front, but probably I will show not pause, Fabio, not photo. Okay, I'm not gonna show the single post, the single photo only, but also all the photos that have been tagged with a specific tag. So we could have photos slash tags slash the tag ID or the log, something like that. So that's gonna be photos. I don't know why I keep writing post. Okay, photos, and then tags. So all the photos, and then photos again. No, let's keep it like that. Tags, tag ID, slash photos. Or it could be, well, that sounds nice. And then we can call this route maybe something like tag photos, tags photos. I don't know, something like that. Then the admin one, and also on the admin we will have admin dot tags, and that's gonna be a resource. Maybe not a full resource. We will see that later. Okay, so I need to build this bunch of stuff. Let's start by writing the tests. So in the Cyprus folder, I can write a file that we can call photos.spec.js, and in here I start writing some context for my photos page, at least the one on the front. And then also we need a now .spec.js where we can test all the authentication, and then we could do an admin.spec.js where we test all the admin functionalities. So if we start from the, well, we have no authentication right now, but we could start writing what we want. And sure enough, I obviously want to be able to authenticate to my application. I've not yet decided what I will use. Maybe Laravel Breeze, or I saw that Taylor will developed Jetstream. I don't know, the easiest one will be fine for this project probably. Okay, so describe what? Authentication. So that's the first context. And then it needs a closure. Here, we could have more contexts to group our tests. So like one for the registration and one for the login process. And I should also tell you that I'm new to Cyprus. So that's really what I will do when I first start learning something. Login. Okay. So now we have two contexts. If we save and look at our um, Cyprus dashboard, we see that we have all three files here that we just created. And if I click on the host, it will open up a new window where it should run the the tests for the out file, but there are no tests inside. There are only contexts. So let's write some tests, at least some pending tests. So first, what we should do, what we should test. I mean, I don't want to test the Laravel Breeze or Laravel Jetstream system because I know that they will work and they are well made, but at least some basic tests to understand if we want to make some change, for instance, to a one of the registration steps or the login steps, if everything works fine. So at this point, when I write a test, it will fail because, of course, we have no registration. We will pass to a pattern. We will use a pattern red, green, and refactor. So we will first write a test that won't pass, so we will fail. Then we will write a test or the basic implementation to make the test pass, even if we have to hardcode something. Then we will refactor and figure out what actually we want to build to make our test pass and even different test cases pass. And then we will start over and over again. Okay, so when I visit a specific endpoint, I want to see the registration link. Let's say that when I visit the home page, I want to see on the top, so like up here, I want to see a register link. So just a register text will make the test pass. So we could do it shows a registration link on the home page. Okay. And then what else? It shows a registration page. So when we click on the specific link, we should see a registration page. I'm not sure what, but I'll figure out as we go. So when we visit the page where we supposed to register the user, we should see a form. So we should see a form on the registration page. Okay, and then let's write quickly a couple of tests for this as well. We'll figure out exactly what to write here in a moment. It shows a login link on the home page and show a login page, and then the login page should show a form. Show a form to login. Then what else? I should be able to register it. So it should be able to register an account, and down here we should be able to log into an existing account, be able to log in into an existing account. But also, as soon as I'm registered, I don't want to see the registration route or link anymore. So I want to disable the routes. We'll get to it in a minute. So let's see this one in action first. So let's run this again. Oops, where are you? Okay, we should not have found. Why is that? Out spec. Why is that? So where I'm, God, I'm writing in the wrong file. So let's visit this one now. It should show us something. The out spec, and we should see a list of tasks. Okay, all the tests are in a pending status because we have not passed the closure where we actually write the actual test. So let's move to the next step. So it should show, it shows a registration link on the home page. Okay, let's implement this. So if we show a registration link, we should be able to visit the registration page, I mean the home page. So this is the URI for the home page, and then it should contain or contains, I'm not sure. What? Register? Register. Okay. So now the test should fail. So let's refresh. CI visit contains is not a function. Maybe I forgot the S. Yeah. Okay, should show registration. Sure. Okay, sorry, we cannot load this. So our test fails because we have not defined the first route, CI visit. Okay, there is no route that it can visit. Why? The home page is here. Let's close this that we don't need. So if we visit the home page, it should contain this one. Let's see if it goes on that page. Okay, sure, registration link on the home page. Visit the home page and we have no home page to visit. Why is that? 44 not found. But I'm sure we have a route to the home page. Yeah, that's the route. Okay, I know what it is. We need to configure the base URL for Cyprus to use. So if I'm not wrong, it's base URL, and it's gonna be our that's a JSON file, so we need to use it's HTTP column 127 dot dot 0.0.1 on port 8000. Okay, now we should be able to visit the home page from our test file. Okay, click here on out and then Okay, so we are visiting correctly this page. So now let's check if we have a link or if the page contains this register. It contains. Okay, now back to our tests. Okay, contains register. Okay, couldn't find this register. So it was expecting to see this register link, but it never did. So let's make the test pass. So if we go to the welcome.blade view and we simply write what the test expect to see, which is register. Okay, if we do that, the test pass. But of course, we have not implemented the real registration page. But this test passes. We have this register here. But this should be clickable and this should redirect us to a route which that has this form on the page. So since we know that we need to do a full authentication system, we need to build it, and it's better if we use a starter kit. So let me see if we, okay, starter kits, what is the suggestion? Okay, we have Laravel Breeze and Jetstream. Let me have a quick look at the documentation to figure out and decide what I want to use, and then I will come back in a minute. See you later. Okay, I'm still undecided. I'm still unsure what to use, but honestly, Laravel Jetstreams is really appealing. By reading the documentation, I realized that both do, I mean, the same thing is scaffolding for the authentication, but one has more features than the other. I mean, Laravel Breeze is minimal and simple implementation of the authentication feature, as it says here. It uses Blade templates and Tailwind CSS. I know how to use Tailwind and Blade, of course, but Livewire, I'm new to Livewire. At the same time, I like and enjoy to use Vue.js, and I want to build a single page application. And of course, the better my authentication system is, and the happier I will be. So, I'm kind of keen to try this Jetstream. But by the way, Laravel says that for those brand new to Laravel, which I'm not, they recommend to use Laravel Breeze. However, I'm new to Laravel 8, but I still want to try Laravel Jetstream. So there is a new documentation so dedicated documentation that I've already opened right here. And reading these, it says that you can use Livewire plus Blade to build your templates or Inertia plus Vue. I did follow one of the tutorial by on Laracast by Jeffrey Way about building an application with Laravel and Vue and Inertia. So I'm keen to try this Inertia.vue plus Vue. And in case I'm stuck somewhere, I will probably hit the Laracast series and um, document myself a bit more and watch Jeffrey building something and then come back to the application and find my way. Right, so that's my plan. So I want to use Inertia plus Vue and I want to use Jetstream. So let's click on the installation tab and see what we should do. So installation is a composer package, so require Laravel Jetstream. Then after the installation, we may execute this Jetstream install artisan command, and the command accept a the name of the stack that we want to use. So instead of Livewire, we'll say inertia, and we could use this option for themes, but I don't need that. So if we would like to use the past PHP for testing, but I'm using the Cypress, so I should be fine with that. And it says that it's highly recommended to start and install inertia only on your application, and that's the case. And it says also that it recommends to read the full documentation of inertia before beginning our Jetstream project. So let's open up the documentation. I'm not going to read the full documentation live because it will take me some time, but I will have a look at it. I already did in the past, but probably there is a lot of things that I missed. So I will probably do this. Two steps. First, I will watch this Laravel series, the one that is suggested on the Jetstream installation introduction page. So I will probably go for it, and then read the documentation for a day, and then for a couple of hours, not a full day, and then I will start building the application. But since I don't want to leave you without writing something, let's first test this Jetstream. So let's install Jetstream and see what happens and what we got. So this is the composer command, and then we should run this command. Okay, so go back to this VS Code, and then let's install with composer Jetstream. It shouldn't take much. Okay, done. Now it says that no publishable resources for tag Laravel assets. Okay, that's fine. Next, what is the command? Jetstream install and then inertia. Okay. Jetstream install. Yeah, actually, I think that this is an artisan command. Where are you? Okay, that's the command. Jetstream install. Let's see the help for this command. What could do? PHP artisan and then help. Jetstream install. Okay, and the argument that it expects is the name of the stack, and we know that this is Livewire or inertia, so could do that. Inertia. I'm not sure if yeah, okay. Let's see what happens. So it's creating a migration. Let's see what's going on. Database migrations. There is a new migration for the session and another one for the two-factor authentication. Okay. So this one is for the authentication. Then we have personal access token. I'm not sure we need all that. And then we have a sessions table. And it says that in the documentation we can work and manage the session. I don't know, we will see what happens. So next we need to run npm install and npm run dev. Let's do that. But we have not yet any database. So for now it's just compiling the front-end assets, so that's fine if there is no database. But when we need to migrate, I think at some point we'll ask to migrate. So Livewire, and it's not our case. Inertia, that's what we did, and then npm install, npm run dev, and then npm artisanal migrate. We cannot migrate because we have no database yet, and we also need to add a database for our tests. Okay, let's see at what point we are. Okay, it's compiling the assets. And by the way, let's see what we got in the resources folder. Oh my god, there is a bunch of stuff. Okay, we have the views with this app.played, and since we are using inertia, I would expect that this is for the Laravel, for the view application, and it has this directive inertia, display directive for inertia. Oh. And we have also markdown folder with terms of service and privacy policy, I would guess. Yes. And we should build this as well. Then what else? We have JS folder with Jetstream, layouts, pages, app.js. Okay, that reminds me a view application where app.js is our entry point. It requires Bootstrap. So this file where we import Axios, okay. That's pretty much a standard view scaffolding. Then what else? It has create app. So we are using Vue 3, inertia app, and then we import inertia progress. So that should be the progress bar for inertia applications. That's at least what I wrote from the screencast. And then create inertia app. So we do have an object with all configuration and mounting options for our inertia application, and then this thing, I don't know what it does. Then we have pages, oh my god, layouts, and Jetstream. Maybe that's a little too much for what I was thinking to build. Action, message, banner, these are all view components. Let's see what we got on the front page. So we have a layout. So this should be the main layout file for view application. So we have jet banner. What the heck is that? Profile. We have the out folder with all the components for the authentication. We have one for the API. And then partials for the API token. Maybe this is not the right choice. Guys, I must be honest, maybe that's too much. Let's see what we got on the front end anyway. So let's refresh the page. So it's a new application, so our test will now fail. And it expects a database because we got connection refused from session, so it's trying to access something. So even to show me the first page, I need to create a database. Okay, let me do that quickly. I will create let me create a MySQL database. So MySQL minus U minus P. And it's all. So I need to start the MySQL database that I have locally. Let's set up. Okay, now back again here, and let's create data base, and we call it Laravel. Well, let's just call it what's the name of this project? Photos. And then exit. And then we need to migrate. And we cannot migrate. Connection refused. Yes, sure. We need to configure the .env file to use the database. So the port is not 3307. Here the database is serial photos. Okay. And then we have pub, and then locally I use password. Okay, let's migrate now. Cool. It's migrating a bunch of stuff. It's a lot of more migration that we usually get on a standard Laravel 7 application. So let's refresh the page and see what we got. Same old, okay. Same stuff we got before. If we click on register, we have this registration page which looks different from Laravel 7, different logo, at least from Laravel Breeze, and then let the register be. And then hit register. Okay. Okay, we got a splash page like the one we have got on the front, also here in the dashboard, and the dashboard looks pretty compared with the others. And then we have this profile tab. Oh, wow. Where we got profile information for Serena and the email, and then update current password. Okay, that's gonna be useful because if she wants to change password and update the password, she can do that. If she wants to update that, she can do that. Okay, that's, I think, really useful. I would have to build that on my own instead if we had not installed this one. And then we can log out. Okay, but if I click here, I will still be here in the dashboard, which is not bad, but we should add a link here on the top to go back to the site. And that's the classic splash page where we got a link for the dashboard. Okay, so let me write our first test to test if the registration steps works correctly. So let's create a database for our tests. And since I'm not using MySQL, we need to, where is Cypress? Huh, okay. We need to, no, okay. We got Cypress.json here. Okay, that's fine. But where is the Cypress folder? Okay, we got it up here. Right, so now what I need to do is go inside the database and create a new file that we are going to call cypress.sqlite, and then we should have a cypress.m.cypress file, but I cannot see that. Maybe when we installed the Jetstream, it deleted our environment file. Let's try to stop that and run it again. Or we could simply copy this. No, okay, I remember what's missing. When we work with Laravel, we could, it's better if we do, use a package that Jeffrey has developed for testing Laravel with Cypress. And it should be called Laravel Cypress. And that's the one. That's the repo. So let's see if we got the steps to install it. Installation. So of course we need to install Cypress and run it, the base URL that we just did in our application, visit foo, okay, that's fine, and then we can require this composer package. Thanks, Jeffrey. Let's install it. And let's see, it should write for us in here a new file, a new .env.cypress file. So a new environment file that we can swap when we write our tests. Let's see what else we need to do. And then, okay, we did that, and then we should run this command. So the Laravel, the composer package will actually add a new command, Cypress boilerplate, to our application, and then we can use it to scaffold all the files that Jeffrey made for us. Okay, so we got this cypress.env file, so env.cypress file, which is a copy of the original environment file, and we can use it to swap the database so that when we run certain tasks, for instance, we register within our application, we register the account inside the actual testing database instead of changing our local database. So let's do that. We need to delete this and this, so we don't need that. We don't need that because I'm not going to use MySQL but SQLite. And then I need to use the full path of this file. So let's check that. Cd database and print working directory. And that's the correct working directory. And to make this work, we need to pass the full file path. So that should be the file path, and we called the database cypress.sqlite, not serifocus. Okay, and then we save. Now, when now the composer package that we just downloaded should swap the environment file when we run our tests with this Cypress environment file, and let us use this database instead of the Mysql database to make all the changes and check if the registration steps work correctly. So let me figure out what to do, and then okay, we can close this cypress.sqlite. Okay, so that's the correct database name. Okay, now we go in the Cypress folder inside the out spec, and then up here let's try to register a user, but first let's run the test and see what we got. Right, where are you? Here. Okay. Let's click this and see if we got a passing test. Okay, we got a big failure here. So before we look, we skipped on the remaining tasks. Okay, it's not visiting the page. It seems we have a database session issue somewhere. Oh, this. So we got 500 error. Um, why don't we set this one to go to get the actual Laravel page, but the error, so the error is here, and we got the SQL state error at such table doesn't exist. Okay, session table, yes, of course. It's not going to work because we have migrated only one database. We migrated the database for our local database, but we have not migrated the database for our tests, and therefore our application won't start, at least when we test the code, because the local application will still run. So let's run php artisan migrate with an help flag. Yeah. Okay, we could use this one. We could use dash dash env and specify an environment file to use. If we do like env cypress, it should pick the environment file we have for the Cyprus tests, and it should migrate, and it does. So it's migrating. It has completed the migration for our Laravel testing database. So we should be able to refresh this test and see this one to fail. So we visit the home page and we got the page, and the test actually is not failing because let's click on it. If we visit the page, we got this home page, and then it should contain register, and it actually does because we installed the Jetstream scaffolding. So this the first step has actually passed. So what I want to do next, click here and visit the registration page, and it should contain what? A form. I mean, for now, what we are doing is write a white box tests because I know exactly how the application works because I already have the implementation for the authentication, but we will not do that very often, at least later when we build our application. So let me go back to the application page and log out. So if I click on register and I inspect this form, let's see what we got. We got a form tag. I bet this is managed by inertia, so it doesn't have a get a poster request method here. So we could check what if there is a form, and within this form we got an input for the name. Does it have an ID name? Yes, it does. So if we have one, if we have this one, two, so an input with an ID of email, one with password, and the other one with password confirmation. If we do have all this, it means we have the correct registration page. Then we could trigger the register and fill this form, register, and see if we got redirected to the dashboard. Okay. So it shows a registration page, and let's add closure here. What should we do? We should be able to visit this page, and that's it. But as we said earlier, this could be also a fake. I mean, this test could also pass even if there is no registration in place. So what we actually want to do here is to grab this one, and so if there is this one, we should be able to click the link and be redirected to a page where we actually see register again, or this form with all this stuff inside. Well, actually, don't know yet. Let's see. So if I visit this page, and I try to get, well, let's do another thing. If I get a link that contains a register and then click on it, what should I see next? I should see a page with a form. So we could try to do like ci dot what? Let me think about it. Get form, and within it we should be able to pass the closure here and say again ci dot get, let's see if it works, input put name, not sure, let's try. So it's running, the first test should still pass, then we should be able to click on that link. Oh no, we got an error. Well, we click on the link, and the link should contain a register. Okay, I missed, there is a typo here. Let's try again. So show the registration page and visit the page, and that's fine. Click the registration link and show the registration page. Okay, so we searched for links for one that contains the register text. Then we clicked on it, and we been redirected to this page register, where we check if there was a form, and we got the form, and within it we checked if there was an input with name. Okay, we could also keep going with this one. Name, email, password, and password confirmation. Actually get rid of this one and show registration page with a form. And let's check if the form has all these fields. It's running again, all tests. So it's checking if the form has everything. Password there is a typo. So password with double S. Cool, we got our second test passing. All right. Should be able to register an account, okay? So the next test we should write is the one to make sure we can register the user. So if we make any change to this registration form and all its steps, in case we need, all tests should pass. In case they don't, we have a regression that we will have to consider and fix. But for now, I mean, let's test that the basic implementation of Jetstream works and everything is in place. So name, email, password, and confirm password, we can register it. So we need to fill this form and all these fields, and then click on register. So what will do an actual user? Fill this, fill this, fill this, fill this, and then click on this button. So let's simulate that. There are also multiple ways to achieve these same steps, but for now, I mean, that's the first thing I could came up with. So let's say that it is so it should be able to register an account. Okay, how do we register an account? First, we need to visit the page. So we can hit the registration page directly or click on the link. Well, let's hit the registration page. Okay, so once we hit this page, from the page we should get this stuff. Let me copy this. Get the form. Within the form, we should get this stuff. So once you get the input field, you type in it. So it should be a type method. What do you want to type? Name, Fabio, and then to trigger the enter keyboard key, we can simply type enter here between the curly braces. And then we do the same for the others. And I think that Fabio at example.com and then password, just like password, and confirm the password, which is password. I believe that when we press enter on the last field, we can actually submit the form without actually clicking on the register button. Otherwise, we could just select the button if it doesn't work and see the registration steps happen correctly. So let's save this and wait for our test to run. So first test should still pass, the second test should still pass, and now we are on the third test. We visit the registration page. You see that it's filling the form with the data that I input from my input, but now it's redirecting me to the login page instead of, why is that? Instead of the other page. Why? Maybe when we registered the account, it didn't show me the login page, but it showed me the dashboard immediately. So there is something that is not working. Let me try to see I get button that contains register. Let's try that. And then click on it. But why? Wait, where is this Cyprus dashboard? I think I closed it. Yeah. Let's wait for a second that it starts the GUI. Let's visit this link and see if all the tests run correctly or if we got a red. And so you register, and after the registration, so should be able to register an account. It should actually fail now because there is already an account with these details. So we need to refresh the database every time we want to run these steps over. So let's add a hook up here. Let's add the before hook. This one will run before all the tests are executed. I could also use it before each, but this time when I maybe before each could be fine for now, but when I if I refresh the database every time there is new test, when I will go and start testing the logging process, it will fail because the database was refreshed, and that means that no user were in the database. Refresh database. Okay, let's see if it works now. Oh, show registration link on the home page. Okay, what's going on? A refresh database is not running. It's CI. CY. Okay, another typo. So show the registration link. Cool. Show the registration page with the form, and that's fine. And try to register the account. I should register me. Clicks on the register, and that's the dashboard. Okay, cool. Now we should check if we are redirected to the dashboard page once we are registered. So actually I am successfully registered. And lastly, I could check if the page contains dashboard. Let's see if it has to pass. Nope. Why did it fail up here? Maybe I put the contents in the wrong place. Let's see what's happening. Show registration page with the form, I don't know here, but down here. Okay, let's see if it works now. So refresh the database, run migrate fresh. That's the migrate, the CY command, the refresh database, is one that we have been provided by the Laravel Cyprus package. What's happening? So dashboard, error, timeout, could not find dashboard. Why? Why not? We got dashboard here. On this page, we are still in the register page. Get dashboard, then visit the dashboard. Yeah, okay, we are visiting the dashboard, but it is checking if the register is in here. Okay. So next, let's say CI, CY, CY contains dashboard. You should redirect me after all these steps to the dashboard page, and then I should be able to see the dashboard text appearing somewhere. So let's try again. Fabio mail, and password and confirmation. Then we are on the dashboard and the test is passing. Let's check that. So we visit the dashboard page. We are on the dashboard page. It's not checking. It's not checking for the dashboard text. So we are getting to this step. What am I missing? Hang on. Okay, okay, we are redirected with a different page, and then we should get the body of the page, right? And then check if it contains dashboard. Let's run the test again. And now we should be able to pass it. Right, yeah, here. Okay. Show the registration link on the home page, register an account, and fill the form. And then redirect the user to the other page. And it says that we are passing it, but it contains the dashboard. Okay, right. So that's the step that I was looking after. So it's actually correctly in this page. Let's also check if it finds my name like that. So it's sure we are on the registration page. Can I pass an array here? Can't remember. Let's check the docs. API, I believe, and commands, contains, where are you? Yeah, here. So contains accepts a selector and the content. And can I chain contains twice? Maybe. Contains dashboard and contains what's his name? Fabio. Okay, I'm not coding that because we have this here. I could define all the credentials somewhere else, but I mean, that's fine in here. Let's check. So fill the form, check if there is dashboard, and then check if there is Fabio. I think it's not finding me. Why not? Is back at this page? Why is back at this page? What we are in the registration page. You should check if there is my name here. Let's see if we do. Okay, that's ugly. That's really ugly too, but let's make it pass. We will fix and refactor also our tests maybe later. but we'll move forward a little bit with this project. For now, I'm just testing the registration that was provided by Laravel. So, okay, cool. Both things are here, right? Now, what can I test? Can I test the login page? So if I click on the login button, if I click on login link, so this is the same as, well, this one. Instead of register, we should have contains login. And of course, it should run successfully. So you see, we have these two groups inside the authentication context. So here we group all the tests for the registration, and here all the tests for the login. So okay, the first set of tests is gone, fine, and then we have a login, and that should fail because it's log space in. So I'm not gonna fix the actual text on the Laravel page, but can we avoid running all these tests every time? Because I know the registration group is passing correctly. I don't want to wait every time 16 seconds for all the tests to run. Okay, this is working fine. Okay, let's try to log in directly without writing order. So should be able to log in into an existing account. Okay, so we have not refreshed the database because we refreshed the database only the first time, but we registered an account, so we have these credentials, and then we should be able to put the credential into the form and then register, login. So let's grab this stuff, and then this should contain these two. So it's quite similar to the other one. So in here, let's move this up here, and then closure the arrow function, and copy here all this stuff. Log in. So we visit the login page. We hit the form. Within the form, we should have an email and password, I guess, only these two. Password and email. Then we click on a button that says login or login, all one word. I'm not sure. Let me check the actual page. Okay, log in with the space. Log in, click, and then should contain these two. Right, let's see if we pass the test. Where are you? Here. Okay, we are running the steps for the registration. They will pass, we know. Show the login page, and then login with an existing account, and here we are. We got dashboard, and we got to the dashboard, but we haven't got to the point where contains login, and it does. Then we click on it. We are redirected to the dashboard. See why click failed, because this element is detached from the DOM. Okay, we are using Vue.js. I'm not sure how to test this, but let me figure that out. If I cannot click the button like that, maybe I can press enter. Well, actually, there was an enter here, let's fill the form, and then we should visit this link and be able to click it. Maybe the steps that Cyprus does for the login are too quick. And when we press the login button, it does not wait enough to let redirect us to the page we need to visit. So we type the username, we type the email, we type the password, then we press enter, and the test passes. Okay, cool. Next, we could add some validation checks. I mean, show me the error that will appear if I try to log in with if I try to register with an email that has been already taken. But let's say that we are happy with that for now, and let's delete this stuff because I want to move forward and actually start the implementation of my code. So let's say that it is fine and we can close it. Next, what we want to do is have on the home page a page that says photos, maybe photos. So let's go here and then say describe photos. Okay. And let's add some tests right here. And then in case we will group them if we need. It should show a list of posts. Okay, so when I visit this specific endpoint, I should see a list of posts. But we said that Serena doesn't want to have an home page, but straight to the photos page. So her home page will be actually the redirected to the photos page because I have nothing to put on the home page actually for now. So it doesn't even make sense to put something there. She will only upload photos. And then in case she change her mind, we can implement all the steps required for that. So let's write the test description first. So photos, when we are testing the photos page, from which point of view? From the guest point of view. So let's describe guest, and then let's add another function, and here we add this stuff, and then another one for the admin that we will work on this stuff later. Okay, but maybe admin, it's better if it's moved into its own space instead of here. So let's move this here and then we will figure out, oops, maybe I deleted. Yeah, okay. We will figure out what to do in this section in a minute. For now, describe photos and guest. Well, we don't need the guest anymore. Right, so it should show a list of photos. Then so when we hit the photos page, we should see a list of photos. Okay, when we hit the when we visit a single photo, we see the photo. Well, that's all I can think for about now. So So let's rephrase this. I don't like it. Shows a list of photos. Okay, shows a list of photos. I think it's fine. Let's add a closure, and then let's say that when I visit the photos endpoint, that's not possible, but photos. When I visit the photos endpoint, I would expect that it contains what? Let's check very quickly the design we made. So when I visit this page, I should see a list of photos, but of course we cannot see the list of photos because we have no models, we have no migrations, we have nothing. So I should create a photo first. Right, so when I visit these photos, it should contain what? It should contain a list of photos. Let me think about that. Okay, how can this contain something? So I visit this page. What are my steps? So I need to set up my dependencies. Then I need to execute the actual feature. And then I need to make the session. And finally, I need to go back or refresh the database. So if we need to refresh the database, we need these refresh database hook. Let's put it up here. So we refresh the database. Then we show a list of photos. So we need to create actually a photo before we are able to create something. So we can use create, if I'm not wrong. We should have inside support Laravel commands. There is a command for login, and that should show us the login page. So, okay, yeah. Then what else? Logout, CRS token, routes, visit, this one overrides the Laravel, the Cyprus visit command. Then we have create. Create wants a model, then it wants how many times we should create, how many models we should create, and then a list of attributes. And then if we have relationships, and we will have at some point relationships between tags and posts and photos, so we will need that as well later. So let's create a model. What we actually want to do is to create a post, photo post, which is this will be our attributes. We can pass title, and in here we will write the title. Then what else? Let's check. We have not able for that. Okay, so on a basic level, we will have a title for the photo, and we will refresh the database every time. But if we run the migration, okay, let's add a photo, and here we should have a photo URL. And next, the status. The status is active or not. False, maybe. Well, this could be is active. Is active set to false, and that's it. What we did think earlier. Let's see. Everything is gone. Yeah. Okay. So title, photo, and a link. Let's add a lower and pick some photo for now. I'll grab the first link I find on the website, and we need to use the double quotes. Right, okay, that's the attributes that I want to pass to the model. Title, photo, and is active. Then I need a model, which should be the full path of the model. So it's up, and then models, and then photo. Okay, so I need to create this entity in my database. So create, let's run the Cyprus command, and this wants a model. If we don't write this second argument, so how many models we should build, will be the single model, and the second argument that we pass here will be the object. So photo. Next, we should be able to visit the page, CI visit for photos. Next, we should see at least the title of my photo. Okay. And yeah, we had that earlier. And then we refresh the database. Okay, let's try that. And I'm not sure if it's the case to refresh the database every time we run a test. Let's see. Let's see next when we will write more tests. So we can close this one for the authentication. We can open up the other one for the photos. To show a list of photos, it should fail, of course, because there is nothing for us to use. There is no model, there is no nothing. So where is the actual error message? We need to disable all this stuff. There was an error. Okay, if we pass this one to the, where should we pass that one? I think as a second argument of visit, we should be able to see the actual error message thrown by Laravel instead of that one. Nope. Maybe not at this point. So of course I know which error we have, but I would like Yeah, here we are. This is the error. So we cannot find this class, so it was not found. Let's create a class. So let's create this model. PHP artisan make model, and surely we will also need to create the migration, at least for the model and the controller. And let's call this photo. It should create a resource controller. Let's see, HTTP controllers, photo controller. I'm not sure about that because we want to use the Jetstream package that we just put in, but I think this stuff is just for the registration. Okay, let's refresh our test and see what it does. Now we should still fail, of course, because there is no database. No, the migration wasn't done. So it's trying to push this stuff inside the table, but probably will not be able to find it. Where is the actual error? Internal server error, we got 500. Yeah, here we go. Error class database factories for the factory is not found. Okay, it's trying to create a photo. I think it's trying to use the factory. But anyway, it won't be able to do anything because there is no database table. So let's create the database table. I feel these testing steps with Cyprus are less clear than those we used to. So let's migrate the database. So we have a table column for the title, which is a string, and we add title here. And let's say maximum 200 characters. Then what else? We have a boolean. Well, another string for the photo. And let's not put any constraint. Next, let's have table for is active or is published. Is public, maybe better. And by default, let's say that when she saves a photo, the photo is a draft, maybe, or it's public. And then the timestamps. I think for now that's it. It's public, is the new column instead of is active. So now let's do the migration. This migration will be for my local database. Then another one for the other environment, I think. No. Let's see if I'm missing something here. What is the name? Help dash dash amp and then Cyprus. Well, that's correct. Maybe it did the migration for both. Okay, let's try to run the test again and then I will stop for today. Nope. Okay, class database factories for the factory not found. Let's create also a factory for that. Make factory. And can I connect that to a model? Yes. And then he wants to name photo factory. I think that's the, yeah, standard format. Okay, so we have a photo factory, but the photo factory has nothing in it. Just a return. Let's run the test again. We are still failing. I think the database doesn't have that. So illuminate database equals SQL. Okay, table photos no column is active. Okay, that's a better error. Cool. We need to change that. So we wanted the factory as well, because I think that the Cyprus Laravel package is using factories behind the scenes. So it's public, should be the name of this key here. Run again the test. So, okay, we are visiting these photos endpoint and my photo doesn't exist. Okay. But there is a for the page, for the page photos because there is no route for that. Let's create a route and then make it pass. Once it passes, I will consider the good for today. So route, let's make it pass wherever it takes. Get slash photos. And then let's use a closure. Then we will build and refactor our code and use the constructor. If we want to make this path, we can simply say my first photo. Okay, our first goal is always to make the test pass. My first photo, not sure if there is any typo. Capital F. Yeah. My first photo with a capital F, capital P. Let's see if we got it. We got the green. Okay, we got the green. Right, so of course we need to refactor these and pass to this one a view. So we are moving to the next phase, which is the refactor phase. Turn view. I'm not sure if with inertia I should still return a view. Okay, let's say that for today, that's it. We will need to build a view, but in views we have only hub.blade because everything should be managed by inertia and I'm not actually sure where to put my views. We should be able to put them here into pages. We got dashboard, we got a welcome page. Welcome page is this one with all the markup. and that should be a view file. So it's view component, and it is. It's a page component. Okay, right. So in the next video, we will move forward and refactor our code to make it pass, but actually use a proper page component to render a list of posts from the database. See you in the next one, guys. Cheers.